Over to
Yeah,
you.
yeah. My name is Emmanuel. This is my capstone presentation for David Ade Academy. Yeah, right about now, I'll start sharing my screen to take you through the journey of my work. Yeah, S- yeah. Right on my screen now is my capstone projects, which I've done with David Ade Academy. In the brief of the capstone project, we're just to create a visualization which shows the actuals, the business plan, a focus 3 plus 9, focus 6 plus 6, and focus 9 plus 3. The actuals is basically the outcome of every sales, everything the company has done. And while the business plan is the vision whereby the plan where the business plan is what they're trying to achieve, the plan which the business is trying to achieve. And the focus 3 plus 9 is the quarterly insight of to see whether if they are in line with their business plan. So as also the focus 6 plus 6 and also the focus 9 plus 3. This is just showing them, giving them the insight of what they're doing, if they are on track with their business plan, if they need to make different changes to see if they made losses, if they made profits, and so on. So in this overview page, we have sales amount, we have volume in cases, we have net revenue. The sales amount is the total sales whereby the company has made over this period of time. Also, the volume in cases shows the number of volumes they've sold in the business plan. If we look at the volume in cases in the business plan, we can see the total is different from what they produced in the business plan and the amount of volume they sold in different quarters. So, and also the net revenue shows what the net income they brought, the revenue they gained from the actuals, the business plan, the focused 3 plus 9, and the focus 6 plus 6. If we take a look at the sales amount, we can see we have different demand areas. We have bulk buyers, we have city north, we have city south, we have foreign, we have the middle belt, modern trend. Using foreign as a case study, if we look at it in the sales amount, we can notice that they really didn't make any sales abroad. So most of the sales of the company didn't come from the foreign area of it. If we also look at the business plan, we can see that they also didn't make any form of sales abroad. So yeah, this is trying to tell us that the business have not gained a ground in the foreign scene. And also, if we take a look at the volume in cases, in using foreign as a case study, also we can see that the amount of which they produced abroad is not still compared to what they produce in other cases where I will also see show so we can have a better understanding what I'm talking about. Also, the net revenue, still using foreign as a case study, we can also see that they didn't make that much sales in it. So yeah, so with different compared to bulk buyers, if we look at bulk buyers, how the demand area of bulk buyers, we can see it is quite different from what they did in the foreign scene. So back to our overview page. This is showing us a total amount of everything we've done. If we look at business plan, we can see that there's a little bit change in total sales because in when the business plan was brought up and compared to it with the actuals, which I will still show in the presentation, I will still show how the distinct differences in both of them in later on in the presentation. But right now, just with what we're looking at, we can see there are differences in the total sales, and the total amount of every bit of it. If we look at the total amount in the focus 3 plus 9, we can see that there's a high total amount which the company sold in the top first 3 quarters compared to the business plan and the actual plan. Also, in the 6 months of the year, we can also see that the company also made high profit and high sales in this 6 months. And also, if we look at the total sales in forecast 3+9, we can see there's also a decrease in these sales. So this is giving us a different, an overview. Let me just brush through the sub-demand areas. We can see we have different sub-demand areas. Sub-demand area 1 to sub-demand area 65 or 66, as we can see on the screen. Looking at the pack type, we have different pack types. We have the CAN, we have the NRGB, we have the PET, we have RGP, we have the TP. Also, brushing through the categories, we have energy, we have the juice, we have the PS, SSD, and water. And different flavors, we have apple, berry, black currant, bitter lemon, bitter water, and so on. Let's take orange as a case study. If we look at the sales sold under actuals during the actual plan. No, sorry, this is enough. In the actual plan, under the flavor orange, we can see there's a change compared to other flavor. Looking at the business plan, there's an increase in the total sales, and more increase happened during the forecast 3+9 compared to the business plan, compared to the actuals. So yeah, moving on, we'll look at the trend analysis. Looking at this trend analysis, we can see there's a trend in whereby during the last quarter, we can see there's a decrease compared to what the business had in the first month of the first quarter. We can see that the actuals, there was rise in actual, there was a decrease in the business plan, and there's a rise in the forecast 3+9. If we look straight down to the end of the first quarter, we can see that there's a decrease. Yeah, there's a trend. It went up from the first month, the second month had an increase, the third month had an increase, but in the fourth month, there was a decrease. Looking at that, we can see that in the comparison of the actual business plans and forecast 3+9, the trend keeps on going. It's a wavy trend which is going down, up, down. If we take a look at the last month of the year, there was an increase in all of it. So it shows that the business grows more. I will give an example. I would say the business increases more when consumers are on break, maybe uni students are on break, any target audience are on break, or an holiday period during every quarter of the year. So we can see that at the end of the year, which is mainly holiday peak period, there was an increase in sales. If we look at the actuals versus the 6+9, the 3+9, we can also see that the focus 6+6 had more sales compared to the actuals and the focus 3+9. There've always been an increase in sales in the focus 6+6. The only significant times where we had a drop in sales, which is in the fourth month, and in the fourth month, there was a drop in sales in the 7th month, in the 8th month, and in the 10th month. But in other months, there've always been an increase in the focus 6+6. If you look at the actuals, yeah, they've been an increase more compared to decreases. Then in the focus 9+3, we can see the trend went from going up down. In the fourth month, like I said before, the fourth month always have a decrease. There've not been enough sales, and that's something the company needs to look at. That what's causing it for us to have like a fall in sales in the fourth month of the year. So this is an insight whereby the company needs to look at and see what's going on there. Then if we look at the variance analysis, talks about how the actuals versus the business plan, actuals versus the different focus, 3 plus 9, 6 plus 6, and 9 plus 3. If you look at the actuals, if you look at actuals versus the business, we can see we had some negatives, which I used a color coding to differentiate. So we can see that the actuals versus business plan, we had losses that happened when we had actual plan. Then when we made our business plan, we can see we had losses compared to our actuals versus 3 plus 9. We can see that during the third month, we had made profits, which I also used the color coding to show that yes, there's a profit in this month. If you also look at the actuals versus 6 plus 6, we can also see that, oh yes, we had enough. We made profits also in this month. Then if we look at the actuals versus 3 plus 9, we can also see here that there were drop in sales. So we made significant losses in some key areas, in some demand areas, and some sub-demand areas. And lastly, the net revenue composition. If we look at it, we can see that there's a trend going on here. Looking at the demand area on the actuals, we can see that there are different amount of sales and there were increase in sales. If we look at the business plan and looking at the total of the middle belt, if we look at it, we will notice that the sales dropped. The amount we sold in these areas in the middle belt, in the sub-demand, in the categories, we could notice that there were significant changes in the sales, which were a drop. Now, looking at the focus 3 plus 9, we can see there were increases in all these sales. Also, moving on to the focus 6 plus 6, we can also notice that there were also increases in this sales, and also in the focus 9 plus 3, there were decrease in sales. One thing I've missed out at the beginning of this presentation is I didn't explain how I brought in these data, how these data are what I did to get this data. At the beginning of the project, the first thing I did was to pull in data from different data sources, which is the SQL and also the SQL and also the Excel SharePoint. I moved the data into the Power Query, cleaned the data up. With the data doesn't really need much cleaning, but I cleaned the data, did an appendix, created a label table, which I literally append all tables together, which created like a relationship between all tables. And also in my model view, I had to do a relationship between all these data with the product table, which I can also call the master data. So with that gave us like a relationship whereby I don't need to start creating a different table for each field. That made my work more easy. That made my work more significant and very easy to approach. And in doing my trends and doing from the overview, if we notice, once I click on it, everything changes. That relationship made everything possible. And yeah, doing all the calculations, according to the brief, we were asked to divide some of anything in sales divided by a million and anything in volume in cases we divided by 10,000. So yeah, this is showing everything I've done. And at the end of the day, we can see that the business can go better than it is by looking at where we made profits and where we made losses. Yeah. Thank you.
Do you have key influencers here?
Yeah, I created key influences. It wasn't really part of our brief. I just made a view of it.
It wasn't a brief, but go on. Do you want to say one or two things about this? But you know what? Don't worry, it's fine. Let me
Yeah.
just go to my feedback. So as usual, I start with the good. So your work is very neat, tidy, professional, just how I like it. I won't change a thing. So that's good. I like that you're also trying to give us insights. You've looked at the numbers, you spent time with them, you've tried to make sense of the numbers. Um, so that's fine. So that's fine. In terms of the bad, let's go back to overview. I mean, not the bad. That's not in terms of things I think we can improve or things we could have done slightly better. So in this
Yeah.
view, you have sales amount, volume in cases, and like net revenue.
Yeah.
Those are three buttons, but the problem is I can't tell what I'm looking at every single time. So now I'm on sales amount. How do I
Yeah.
know when the view is net revenue? Nothing changes in the headers, just a table. So I can't really tell. I mean, volume is straightforward because there's no currency sign, so that's fine. But for sales amount and net revenue, I can't really tell what I'm looking at. So go to
Okay.
sales amount. Now go to net
That's it.
revenue. The only thing changing is table. So how do I know what I'm looking at? I don't know. Do you understand? So
Yeah.
even though I like the color combination, we're losing something there because now I don't know what page I'm looking at. How could we have addressed that? You could have maintained the same colors, but what you do is on each of the pages, let the size of the page you are looking at slightly bigger. Let it be
Yeah.
bigger. So volume will be bigger than sales amount and net revenue. So that way I know I'm looking at volume. When I go to sales amount is bigger than the other buttons. When I go to net revenue is bigger. So that way you
Yeah.
maintain the same color, but you just tweak the sizes so it's clear what I'm looking at. Um, let's go to same problem in the variance analysis, by the way. So if you go to variance analysis, same problem. Again, I don't know what I'm looking at. So you click on one, okay, fine. You click on the next one, okay, but I don't know exactly what I'm looking at because there's nothing differentiating the pages. Can
Yeah.
you see what I mean? So
Yeah.
I don't know what view this is because I
Okay.
didn't
Because
click
of
it.
the color code
The,
is
it's the same.
yeah.
Exactly. The headers are the same. So those are the only things that I think are worth mentioning. Other than that, I think it's a nice job. It's really professional. Exactly how I like my stuff. It's tidy, it's neat. There's no we don't have a lot of rubbish cluttering the place. You've not gone to play with too many colors. You've kept it simple. And I'm really happy with that. So I think in terms of the presentation, that's it. That's it. Now it's up to you to give an honest review as to what your learning process has been like, what the course has been like. Um, yeah, in maybe 2-3 minutes, just talk about what your experience has been like, and then we can bring this to a close properly.
So yeah, I would say my first interaction with Power BI was sometime in December 2022, because during my master's program we were briefly showed what Power BI. That was the very first time I was even hearing about Power BI because my field is far different from data. Did my master's in digital marketing and management. So
Yeah,
the first time I saw it, I was like, "What? What is this? I've never." So the lecturer just did what we needed to use it for, and they even like explain in deep time what's we're doing. I didn't even know how to put in the data. Don't even know they were different. I didn't even know what Power BI queries. I didn't know whatever that was. So during the course of the year, moving into the new year, I can remember David I did brought there was a group that was created from the Twitter community, which was like the data community on WhatsApp. And then we were having classes week during the week, sometimes weekdays or like maybe twice a week. And yet you were trying to explain okay what Power BI is, even if you don't have the knowledge of it, you were giving insights on okay, this is what Power BI is all about. So yeah, I was so interested in like, okay, I want to understand what this is. Then I saw the advert online and I was like, yeah, this is something I should go for. Then starting because I won't lie, when I first started, I was in doubt. I was asking myself, oh, am I sure I'm going to like understand or without me having prior knowledge of what this is. Once I backed down after like 2-3 weeks, so I tried learning it on myself. I can remember reaching out to you and telling you, "Oh, I want to learn this," and you're like, "Oh, I should give it a go." But doing it on my own, I wasn't really getting it. It was just me looking at the screen and watching YouTube doing the same thing the YouTuber was doing. So I was just there. Starting because I can remember you used a kitchen method to explain to us uh, before you start a dish, what you need to do, what you need to get ready, and everything. And that way, it was very easy for you to understand because you made it like our day-to-day activity, you made explanation of the Power BI like our day-to-day activity, making us see that, oh, this, we can also imply what we do in our day-to-day lives into Power BI. So it's the same process of if you want to make a food, what do you need to do first? You need to prepare, you need to clean, you need to do all of this before the actual food will come into place. And you used that into Power BI, and that was a very relatable way of explaining it. And it kept on going easy. Even if you miss a class, you will be so rest assured that, oh, if you watch the videos, you can understand every bit of it. I can remember that even if one person is lacking behind, you waited, explain, and make sure that until that person gets it, we are not moving. There's no, oh, let's get this done and let's get it over with. You were so patient with every one of us, and you gave us that relationship among we students. I can remember even when I had issues, I would reach out to Leke. Me and Leke were on the call for a very long time doing that, and you were not even aware of that, but just that relationship you've made us build among ourselves, like as a team. You made us like a team of Power BI analysts, even if half of us or 90% of us don't even know what we were doing, but you gave us that confidence, that boost to like, oh, we can do it regardless of whatever it is. It's Power BI in 10 days. Who says you can learn Power BI in 10 days? So yeah, the class was very, very productive to me. Very, very good. I can say now, oh, give me a data, even if I'm not 100% there, I can say at least to some extent, I can do certain things. And even if I know, oh, I have problems with something, there's always someone to reach out to. Even if you're not available, you've made it easy for us that, oh, we can reach out to each and every one of our team members. Because that's what I will see us as. I'll see us as team members because that's what you created us to be as team members. And yeah, it's a very good course for me. Something I would advise any other person to do because in my present role now, I'm sure I'll be using Power BI a lot. So yeah, it's just something I was very glad I learned. So yeah, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. Very detailed review. Thank you very much. And I'm happy you can even work with it on your job because then you can learn a lot more. You can do a lot better. So
Yeah,
that's really good. So I think I'll officially bring this to a close. So
yeah.